everyone! Let's try that again. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Faith. I'm sorry I look crazy, but today we are going to just be doing an eyeshadow tutorial. So I've already done my base makeup and my brows, so that is why I look kind of weird. I had let you guys know in my Ulta haul that I picked up a Makeup Revolution palette, and I did that because a lot of you guys have been requesting that I test this out and try out a Makeup Revolution palette. So I got the Makeup Revolution Pro HD Amplified 35 palette, and this is the one called Socialite. So that is, I don't know if you can see that. It's called Socialite. It is kind of pinks and neutrals. This only costs $20, so you get a lot of different shades for $20. So that is one of the reasons I wanted to try it, and just a lot of people have been saying that the formulation is really good. So for the price, I figured we would test it out. I'm going to zoom you guys in and we'll get right on into the tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do is set down my entire lid with this white shade. I love that this palette includes a bone shade like this. I just love when palettes do that because it gives you such a nice base to work off of, and you don't have to open up your translucent powder or anything like that to get the job done. I am really drawn to these pink shades. I've been just loving pink lately. I don't know why. It's not really like me. I don't wear a lot of pink and I don't have a lot of pink things, but in terms of eyeshadow, I've just been loving pink. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is take this shade here, which is a really bright pop of pink, and put that in my crease. I'm using Real Techniques brushes today. I might have to dip into a few others, but the first two that I'm using here are Real Techniques. Yeah, that definitely packs a punch. So far, so good. So I'm just working this into the crease, making sure to stay low. Don't want to go too far up onto the brow bone yet. If you do that too quickly, it can easily get messy and it's really hard to go back. So we'll start small. I haven't done a just like dedicated eyeshadow tutorial in a really long time, so this is really fun for me. The reason I don't do them as much is just because I kind of do the same looks, just different colors, so I don't want you guys to get bored. And I also really enjoy doing full face tutorials. Those are the kind of videos I like to watch when everything is included, so normally I have to kind of go quickly through the eyes. But it's nice to kind of slow down and be able to show you an eye look from start to finish in depth. This is blending out like a dream. Better than some high-end eyeshadows that I have, so I am impressed. There is definitely some kick up. I haven't noticed fallout on my face, but there's kick up in the pan, so just be aware of that. I'm going to deepen it up a little bit more with this shade here, which is kind of like a maroon. And I'm going to make sure to stick this very tightly in the crease and not go above that pink at all. I want that pink that we put down first to show above this. So we're staying nice and low and creating a nice deep crease. There's a lot of different looks you could do with this palette, and I like it because there's kind of an equal amount of mattes to shimmers. Actually, there's definitely more mattes than shimmers, but there's a good amount of shimmers. I think that gives you a really nice variety of looks you can do. Now that most of the eyeshadow is off of the brush, I'm being a little bit more rough with my blending and making sure I go really in the crease here and go from the inner portion of the crease all the way to the outer. But you don't want to do that to start. You more want to like place how I was doing before and then start to do this after the eyeshadow leaves the brush so that you're not being messy. Okay, I want to bring even more life to the top portion of the crease, and so I'm going to go in with a lighter shade. I'm going to see if this has much pigment at all. It's kind of like a very light pink. I want to see if that gives a little bit of a pink punch here, like a light pink punch. I don't know, do you see that? I don't think that's showing up. Maybe I'll mix it. I'm going to mix this with the original pink that we went in with to make it a little bit of a lighter highlighter pink that actually shows up. So I can get that right up here to create a nice haze. See that? It's like a full-on ombre. There's a lot of kick up in the pans, just so you know. That doesn't bother me. It's never really bothered me. It normally means there's a lot of good pigment. You just have to blow off the excess a lot, that's all. Should I cut the crease? Yeah, I think I'm going to. So I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape and I'm going to cut my crease. And how I do that is just put a little bit of that on the back of my hand and take any sort of flat brush. So I'll use this today. This is the Bold Concealer Brush by Delium. And you want to just get to start a light amount on there. And how I do this is just kind of see where the fold of my eye is and go right above that. Because you don't want any transfer when you have your eyes open. So if you go right above it, there won't be any weird transfer that doesn't look right. So then I just kind of drag down and start to connect here to the inner corner and create a nice rounded crease. And I'm only going to take this a little bit of the way. I'm not going to cut the crease all the way over. You can do that for certain looks, but today I just don't want to. I want this to just be here in the front portion. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. We are going to go over this with a shadow. You just want to make sure you get this part right in terms of where the top of it is. I definitely went a little bit higher on the other side, so I'll just even that out. Okay, that's pretty even. First, I'm just going to take the brush I was using to blend and go right over there. I don't want this to be super harsh. I just want to create a little bit more of a crease than I naturally have. I'm going to use this gold shade right here to go all over the lid. So I like to take a flat brush like this, dip right into it. This is from Morphe. And then I push and press right down to limit the fallout. It's a pretty color. I wish they had a lighter shimmer shade in here. They really don't. They have a silvery one and they have this like yellowy one, but I think I'm more impressed with the mattes than the shimmers so far. Okay, actually, if you take the brush that you used with concealer and pop it on there, you get a lot more of a punch and you can kind of define that crease even more. So I like that method better, but just so that the other eye matches, I'm going to first go in with the Morphe one and then I'll go back over with the brush that we used for the concealer. Ooh, there's a lot of fallout with these shimmer shades. Just warning you. So I'm going to go back over now with the concealer brush that's a little bit damp with concealer and just pack that on there. Okay, now I'm going to take the blending brush that I was using before and just go over the edges here and make everything a little bit softer and blended. And then what I'm going to do is deepen up the outer corner here. So I'm going to actually go into the black that's in this palette and see if it's any good. So here is the black. I'm going to start very lightly, just in case it's intense, and just pat that right here in the outer corner. Some pretty good pigment. I'm going to mix it with the maroon shade to tone it down just a little bit because there definitely is some good pigment from that black, which is nice. I think that looks pretty good. That's blending really nicely. I like mixing the black with the maroon more than going straight in with the black. I think it goes with the look and is a little less harsh. Yeah, definitely some good pigment, and from the mattes, there's really no fallout, which is impressive. And I'm going right over this line here where the shimmer stops just to blend it. And then I'm going to go back into that bright pink, and I'm just going to go right over here, over the crease again, because we lost some of that punch, and I want to bring that punch of pink back here. I'm going to take a clean brush now and just go over everything to make sure everything is super blended. I like it. I think I'm pretty impressed. I'll have to test out the shimmery shades more, but so far I am more impressed with the mattes than the shimmers. So let's do the lower lash line here. I'm going to use this brush from e.l.f. and I'm going to go into that pop of pink and first take that. Then I'm going to go into the maroon shade and just go on the outer edges here and kind of connect this up to the top area here, this outer V. I think I need to take a little bit of black in there too. Deepen that up. Yeah, that's better. And then again, I'm going to go back in with the fully clean blending brush. Just go right over this whole area to haze that out and blend. For brow bone and inner corner highlight, I think I'm just going to go in with the matte white. This shimmery shade here just looks kind of like gray. I mean, I guess I could try it. I don't know. I don't think it would go well with the gold. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go in with the matte white. To do that, I'm using this brush from Delium. It's their golden pencil brush. And I'll just go right on the brow bone and give that some light. Yeah, I really like the matte shades more in this palette than these shimmers. I keep saying that, but the more I use it, the better I like it, which actually is unique. I would typically think that more affordable palettes would be better on the shimmers and not as good on the mattes, but this one I think is better on the mattes. So if you really need some affordable matte shadows, because I know those can be hard to find, especially at the drugstore, this might be what you should go with. Okay, so I'm going to finish off the look with some liner and lashes, and then I will be back to show you how the eyes look with everything put together. So I finished off my makeup and wanted to show you the full look complete with the eyeshadow so that you could kind of see it all together and with lashes and everything like that. I'll give you a few close-ups so you can kind of see how everything looks together, and yeah. I think my final thoughts on this palette is that for 20 bucks, I think this is a really good deal. However, I'm definitely more impressed with the mattes than with the shimmers. I wish that there was a lighter gold shimmer that wasn't so yellow, like a really, really pale, almost white gold. That would be really nice to use for the inner corner and the brow bone. But I really shouldn't be complaining. I mean, this palette is really, really pretty and the matte shades are worth it. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 of the 35 shadows are matte. So this definitely is more predominantly matte than I even thought just looking at it. And I would say the mattes are where it's at. So if you want some good matte shades in these colors, I would say definitely go for this palette. This again is the Socialite palette. I really like how the look turned out. Again, I just am a little disappointed in these shimmer shades, but I'll have to play around with it more and maybe test out some of the other shimmers. I will let you know in future videos if I continue to use this and like it, of course. So yeah, those are my final thoughts. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and the review on this palette. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!